Welcome to today's show. Today I'm going to be breaking down the Dallas Cowboys NFL Draft of 2019 recap. I'm going to be talking about the NFL Draft picks that we got, and as well the day one roster projection that I have for the team. And the state of the franchise, I was talking about how the Dallas Cowboys have a Super Bowl caliber roster as long as they can address safety. While they did draft safety in the 5th round with Donovan Wilson, they didn't get a safety with their first pick in the 2nd round. It's going to hinder them a little bit. I'm not saying this team isn't capable of winning the Super Bowl, but it just made their odds way more difficult than it had to be. Overall, I give this draft a B rating. I felt like they could have made definitely different choices, but it looks like more what their plan was to bring in depth for the team, and they're pretty much set on the roster that they have. So to begin, at quarterback, they didn't draft anybody. I would say that their quarterback group is fine, as it's listed with Prescott, Cooper Rush, and Mike White. Maybe Mike White and Cooper Rush can compete for the backup spot, and whoever doesn't win, release them. As far as the running back group is concerned, you got Ezekiel Elliott, and they also drafted Tony Pollard and Mike Weber. I would keep those two drafted guys on the roster because you actually spent capital on them, and then just release Darius Jackson and Jordan Shune. Fullback, keep them the same, Jameez Awale. Wide receivers, a very interesting group with this team. You have Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, Tavon Austin as your left, right, and slot receivers. You have in the backups, you have Allen Hurns and Cobb. And then you have Lance Lenore, Noah Brown, Cedric Wilson, Reggie Davis, Devin Smith, and Cody McElroy. The guys I would release is Lance Lenore, Noah Brown, Reggie Davis, Devin Smith, and Cody McElroy. What I would do as far as the wide receivers are concerned, obviously I have Amari Cooper as a starter. I would have Randall Cobb as your starting slot / right. And then I would have Allen Hurns start on the outside when Randall Cobb is in the slot. You can have Tavon Austin as your backup slot receiver, bring him in some run plays if you want to, and then you can have Michael Gallup as your backup. And then as far as the IR player Cedric Wilson, 5th round pick from a year ago, you can have him in the back, still learning the playbook, and he can come in if he needs to. As far as offensive line, this is a great offensive line group, of course, especially with Travis Frederick coming back into the lineup. You got left tackle Tyron Smith with swing tackle Cameron Fleming. You can play both left and right tackle. You have left guard Connor Williams with third round pick Garner McGovern. And you have center Travis Frederick, backup Joe Looney, who started all last year. He played pretty well as a backup, so I keep him there. You have right guard Zach Martin, and then Xavier Suafilo, who I feel like you can have him on the roster if you want, but as far as the guys I would release left guard Cody Wichman, center Adam Redmond, right guard Dustin Stanton, and right tackle Jake Campos. And I would consider releasing right guard Xavier Suafilo if Connor McGovern is doing so well. Under tight end group, you are definitely way better hands now with Jason Witten coming back. And then you can have Blake Jarwin as a backup, which is where he belongs. You still have Rico Gabbers and Dalton Schultz, who can continue to develop and get better. As far as this group is concerned, I would have Jason Witten, of course, as a starter. I would bring in competition from Dalton Schultz and Blake Jarwin as a backup. And then Rico Gabbers really needs to improve this offseason. He has to show that he can play in the NFL. If he isn't able to, just release him. On the defensive side of the football, you have left end DeMarcus Lawrence, backup recently drafted Joe Jackson, and Shakir Soto. With defensive tackles, you got plenty of guys who can come in and contribute. With Malik Collins, Antoine Woods, Tyron Crawford, Christian Covington, Tristan Hill for 2nd round pick, Daniel Ross, and Kerry Hyder of the Detroit Lions formerly. I love Kerry Hyder. He's a great player. I would definitely keep him. The guys I would release is Daniel Ross and Christian Covington. I would have Tyron Crawford and Tristan Hill as the starters, then Malik Collins, Van Antoine Woods. And as far as Kerry Hyder is concerned, this is a guy that has played both defensive end and defensive tackle for the Detroit Lions. You can actually bring him in, similar to Tyron Crawford, and do similar things. And even, if you want to, you can have him compete with Antoine Woods, and whoever loses that competition, release him. On the right-hand side of the defensive line, you got Robert Quinn, Tucker Carlton, and Dorrance Armstrong. I would keep it exactly how it is. With Sam linebacker, you have Justin March-Hilliard, otherwise known as Lotside linebacker. Chris Covington and Jalen Jelks, who was drafted. Middle linebacker is Jalen Smith, and in case, Leighton Vander Esch. You have Will, or if you right outside linebacker, Leighton Vander Esch, Sean Lee, and Joe Thomas. The way I would set up this linebacker group, I keep saying again and again, this is the best way you can have it and potentially provide you the best linebacker group in the NFL, is have Sean Lee as your left outside, then you can have Justin Marsh-Hilliard as your backup, which is where he belongs. You can have your middle linebacker, Jalen Smith, then you can have your right outside linebacker, Leighton Vander Esch, and then as far as Jalen Jelks and Joe Thomas and Chris Covington, these are guys that really do need to compete in training camp and figure out who's going to be the backup. You don't need to keep all of them, maybe keep one or two. On the cornerback side, you have Byron Jones, Ajobi Awuzie, Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis, and then you have drafted Michael Jackson, Treston Decode, CJ Goodwin, Donovan Oluba. And what I would do with that group is, this is a pretty solid group. I would keep Byron Jones as your starter. Then you can have a competition between Jordan Lewis and Awuzie as a secondary guy. Then keep Anthony Brown as your slot / nickelback. And then whoever loses the competition between Awuzie and Jordan Lewis, have me the third string. And then I would release Treston Decode, CJ Goodwin, Donovan Oluba, and have Michael Jackson be the fourth guy, or fifth. On the safety side, free safety, you have Xavier Woods and George Iluka, Donovan Wilson, who is drafted, Darian Thompson, and Jamil Showers. As far as this free safety group is concerned, what they need to do about safety is, since they didn't truly address it in the NFL draft, you have two options. You can either go with Trey Boston, who's available still, or Eric Berry, who you should have signed, and hopefully they will, which I think that is their plan considering they didn't take a safety in the second round. Or you can go with the guys you already have. What I would do is take Eric Berry. He can play both free safety and strong safety. He's that versatile, and he plays at a very high level with both positions. Let's say they do bring on Eric Berry. Bring him to free safety. What you'll do is have George Iluka move to strong safety, and we'll talk about strong in a second. Have Xavier Woods as your backup. Have Donovan Wilson stay as third string to learn the playbook, develop, and then release Darian Thompson and especially Jamil Showers. On the strong side, once you bring in George Iluka over, what you have is Jeff Heath, Kayvon Frazier, and Kyle Querio. What you need to do is bring George Iluka as a strong safety, and have Jeff Heath become a backup again, because that's where he plays best. And then you can either choose to keep Kayvon Frazier as your third string or release him. As far as kicker, we definitely need to address kicker. I don't have full confidence in Brett Maher besides him doing that 60-yard kick, which was a one-hit wonder. I need this guy to be released. He is not reliable. Chris Jones, he's learned how to be reliable. He's gotten better. And then as far as the long snapper position is concerned, you still have a long-time LP Ludiser or Drew Scott. Ludiser isn't making the tackles that he used to because he's about 38 years old and he's ready to retire. Release him. Bring in Drew Scott, who's way younger. He can learn how to play. Probably be able to play better than LP at this point. And as far as defensive end Randy Gregory, he's on the suspended indefinitely list by Roger Goodell. Do not think about him. Do not hope that he's going to come back. Don't even expect it. It's up to Randy Gregory to prove to the team that he can become a reliable player. Like I said in the state of the franchise, this is not a guy that you can rely on to be a starter. If anything, he's going to be a backup. I hope he does come back. I hope he does get over his substance abuse issues. And if he does, then he can back up Robert Quinn if he needs to. Thank you for listening to this 2019 NFL Draft Recap. As far as this team is concerned, if they do get Eric Berry, this is a guaranteed team to go to the Super Bowl and possibly win it. If they don't, you can expect them to be a deep playoff team. Thank you.